Okay, so in this sequence here, we're going to go through 4 body weight exercises that you're going to do to help improve your stability and rotation, okay? So what you'll find is we don't need any equipment for these, but we're going to be we're going to be on the floor, okay? However, the last exercise that we do, if you wanted to add some weight to it, you could hold on to a dumbbell or a kettlebell, but you wouldn't want to go too heavy on it because we want to focus on actually getting the range of movement rather than turning it into a really sort of a strength-based exercise as such, okay? So we're going to go into hands and knees. We're going to do the first exercise, which is a Spider-Man, okay? So the hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, okay? And you're going to take your left arm and right leg away from you, okay? In that position there, if you imagine you had a tennis ball in your lower back and didn't want it to roll off, that's what we're aiming for, okay? So opposite arm, opposite leg, we're touching the knee and the hand on the floor at the same time, and there's very little movement around the pelvis, okay? And then we do exactly the same on the other side, so left leg, right arm, again, hand and knee touching the floor at the same time, back at the start position, and we're trying to keep that lower back as level as we can, yet minimal movement around the pelvis, okay? The next one we're going to do in a very similar position, okay, more for rotation of the upper back, so through the thoracic spine, hand on the ear, yeah, you're going to reach through underneath the opposite armpit with your elbow, and then you're going to open up and try and get the elbow to point towards the sky. Repeat the movement, open up, repeat the movement, open up, okay, obviously we do the same on both sides on that one there. The next one is more of a strength exercise for the oblique muscles here on the side. When you do it with your legs straight, it's called the side plank down and up. When you do it with your legs straight, it's a lot harder than if you do it with your knees bent. The most important thing here is that you keep the knee, the hip and the shoulder in line. And if you have your legs straight, then obviously your toes in line with your knees as well, okay? So, if we start off with the easiest variation to start with, elbow underneath the shoulder, knee, hip, shoulder in line. The common thing is the hips end up sat back. So push those hips forward, okay? And then from that position, we're going to drop the hips down and lift the hips up. Okay, so the bottom hip coming away from the ground, okay, and we're just going to feel that exercise here working through from the bottom of the ribs down towards the pelvis. Okay, side plank down and up. Now, if you do that in the full side plank position, okay, you've got your legs straight. Okay, again, everything's in line, drop the hips down, lift the hips up. Okay, be very aware of obviously working the correct muscles, which are the ones under here, but also make sure those hips haven't dropped back. Okay. The last exercise, clearly we do both sides. Okay, the last exercise we will do here is what we call a seated twist. Now, you've got your knees slightly bent, yeah, and we're going to slightly lean back from the hips. Imagine you're holding onto an object and you're just going to rotate and touch the floor just outside your hip. So you must imagine you're putting something in your pocket. Now, if you want to put your feet off the floor, yeah, that makes it a little bit harder, but what you've got to make sure is that you're still using the right muscles here, okay, in the core, and not too much of your lower back. So there are your 4 exercises for your rotary stability. Again, we'll be making sure we put the reps or sets and time of it and what we want you to do for this around this video, okay?